Well, I'm just making a quick video really, just to follow on from the last one. I'm just making a stew, so this is just occupying my time a little bit while I'm making the stew. And because as far as I'm aware, I'm going back to work next week. I've got to ring the bloke yet, but I did speak to him before Christmas. Either or, I'm not overly fucking fussed. I have enough money to last me till fucking another few months yet, well into spring, without dipping into my £2 that I like to fucking keep in the bank as a little net. But yeah, and it's cold. It's cold at the minute. Shitty and rainy, so obviously when you're doing that in the summer in a tent, it's easy because you could fucking, it's easier than doing it in the winter. But yeah, if it does go ahead, then I'll be starting back there on Monday, and be back in a fucking tent and live like that for a couple of months. I need to get a motor at some stage, I think. It's an idea. Who knows? We'll see. Who knows? I don't make too many plans, big plans. I try to live day to day realistically. You never know what's going to happen or what's going to fucking come in your direction. So it's best not to I don't make too many big plans. So the plan is to work next year, but whether I get to the end of next year or not is a different matter. Yeah, I just want to clear a couple of things up. One, fuck that cunt from fucking in Stevenage. I was well in my rights to tell him he was a fucking cunt, because he was a fucking cunt, turning up on the last day acting big, and he was being fucking nothing but rude to me that day, meaning ignoring everything that I said to him, just ignoring it, just blanking me more or less, when I'd done all the fucking work. I was employed by an agency to go there, so I was on shit agency money. The bloke there didn't know anything, hadn't done anything. The job was fucking falling behind, and I pulled the whole job back round. And I'm on shitty agency money, which was about 180 a day. And he come round and he went, thank you. And he pissed me off just saying thank you to me. I'm like, well, I don't want your thanks. I am paid. I'm here for money. You know what I mean? Meaning, you know what I mean? If you want to thank me, you want to whack a few fucking £100 extra in my wages to say thank you for me doing a lot of work for you. You know what I mean? I'm not here, I don't go to work for fucking thank yous. I go there for fucking money. And part of the reason why I get pissed off at work is because I fucking hate it. And I don't see why I don't see why I should be there, because there's a lot of people with a lot of wealth that fucking thought they could fuck me, wrong me, and I could take that off of them, like taking candy from a fucking baby. But I don't do that, because I'm a law-abiding citizen and all that, and a man of peace at the minute. A couple of things just quickly. Yeah, what I was saying about the geezer in the YMCA who attacked me, and I defended myself against him. He nearly got a fucking shot on me. Well, he did get a shot on me, but I just about managed to fucking ride the punch enough so it didn't pop my nose. But he did hit it, and I just about managed to ride the punch so it didn't pop my nose. He made me angry, basically, and, within a couple of seconds after that, I'd lost, you know what I mean? He was begging like a squealed, battered, slaughtered pig, with his face covered in fucking, mashed to shit. But anyway, yeah, so I just wanted to clear that up, because that's what I was saying, that's what I was trying to say. You can't fucking take anyone lightly in this world. There are maniacs fucking everywhere. Maniacs. Like complete maniacs, including members of the police. And as all my videos have proven, that every time I try to report my life being in danger to the police, they don't take that report. So, you know, I have to defend myself rapidly, and to make sure that that person, those people, can't hurt me at all by any means necessary, meaning, and incapacitate them like the police do in a big mob. They have handcuffs. I don't have handcuffs. I'm not a sexual deviant that needs to tie people up and have sex with them, beat them and hurt them and things like that. So to make a woman moan, I don't need to do those things to make a woman moan. So that's why I don't do those things, and I don't have handcuffs. So they render you incapable of moving, and they will blind you, make sure you can't breathe, beat you with batons with a big group of them, 10 of them on you, and handcuffed you back. And that would just be for you swearing at them. If they don't like you, swearing at them, not threatening them or attacking them. They would do that for you, swearing at them. And then you raising your arm in their direction when they're hurting you or deliberately hurting you, which is a common thing where the police are concerned. So yeah, I have to defend myself in no uncertain terms, and people come back. I just would quickly on this, the geezer I knocked out when I was 16 years of age, the first geezer I done in proper, I knocked him out 3 times in one night. He come back and tried to CS gas me. I was having a party. It was my party. I can't remember. It was like a leaving do. It was my leaving do for fucking high school, and it was someone else's birthday. And the geezer in my class who I used to hang around with, his dad was like the fucking chairman of the fucking Stockwood Park Rugby Club, and we were allowed to basically hire out the hall and have the bar at 16. So we basically, yeah, we was in there, and this geezer walked in, and I've said to him, like, you know what I mean, I've seen him and thought, who the fuck is this nonce? And I've walked up to him and said, like, you better get out the fuck out of my fucking party, because you're like fucking a man, and this is a kid's, well, not a kid's party, but, you know, 16-year-old party. And then he started fucking, but anyway, I'm not one of these people. I've never have ever been someone, because a lot of people will dine out on hitting someone when they don't know they're going to be hit, and think that, oh yeah, I can bang people out, and a lot of people have dined out on that and dine out on that shit. I always warn and say, carry on, you're gonna fucking do that. And I said to him, if you don't get out of my fucking party, I'm gonna fucking mash you up. And if I turn round again and you're in here, I'm gonna mash you up. And I turned round and went to the bar to get a drink, and he pulled my shoulder round like that. So I whipped the head round and headbutted him, sparked him clean out, fractured his fucking cheekbone, and then he basically came back to the party, and he's walked in and said, I want a word with you outside. So I went, yeah, all right, mate, yeah, I'll have a word with you outside. And as soon as he went through the door, I just run at him and boshed him straight in the fucking, and fired a few shots into him. I think I had to do 2 or 3 shots to knock him out. But in that motion, he'd pulled the can of fucking CS gas out and tried to fucking squirt me with it, and missed, and hit some girl in the fucking face, who I ended up fucking going out with actually after that night, because she's a wrong 'un and liked fucking she liked well, people, geezers basically, yeah. And yeah, so and that was the night I should have lost my virginity, which I've made a video about it before. But yeah, so I mashed him up again. He tried to see, this is a 28-year-old trying to CS gas a 16-year-old, because this is my world that I've grown up in. Some people don't grow up in this world, and this is what I'm saying. You know, you've got to learn about the world before you can learn about a lot of other things. if you're someone who's spent your whole life living a life of combat in a ring, but not on the streets, you know, you won't understand what goes on, and you won't understand how slimy people are, and how it all works, or how to sometimes control a pub and big crowd. So he then come back, and a few of us mashed him up when he come back the third time. The mixed race geezer who punched the fuck out of my back, who attacked my back for cheating on his missus when I was a kid, he gave the geezer a lick. The geezer up fucking by the corner house stuck a glass over the geezer's head, and then I finished him off with a fucking good shot. But yeah, 3 times I ended up knocking that geezer out. But yeah, he came back. He came back. So you have to make sure that that ain't going to happen. I've got to make sure that that's not going to happen, because, like I said, the police aren't there. Every time I've been to the police, and which my videos have proven, is that when I try to go to the police to follow the correct procedure where the law is concerned, they just ignore me and don't take threats to my life. They won't take the report on it. And because they've hunted me and broke every law and have done nothing but continue to do that over and over again, keep trying the same shit over and over again, because you're dealing with mental patients. And this is what I've learned, is that how big the control network is, not only on the technology but in the community. Sorry, I need to just get this out quickly, and so I'm just making the fucking stew. So what I need to do is whack some what's that called, stock in there, some herbs and some pepper, because basically, I'll show you this. Basically, because I can't boil a kettle or anything like that, I have to put the water in there, boil it, and then put the stock in once it's boiled. So basically I whack 2 of these in. Basically what I've got in there is potato, cabbage, carrots and swede, 2 vegetable cubes. This is very simple stuff, so you've only, you know, I don't need to show, surely I don't need to show people how to cut a fucking vegetable. I don't even bother fucking peeling them. I just chop the fucking things up and just whack them in there. What's the fucking point in wasting your time? And carrots and shit taste better with the skin on, I think, personally. But anyway, mixed herbs. Whack some mixed herbs in there. And some black pepper. And that's it. Nothing else, nothing more. Just water. A couple of fucking vegetable stock cubes, some mixed herbs, and a rake of black pepper. I love pepper in stew. I love it to taste fucking like pepper, like the pepper punches you in the face. Yeah, so that's very easy to do. Yeah, and that's this meal here is basically, what I've done is I've given up coffee. So I'm back off coffee again. I haven't drunk coffee for over a week now, I think. I don't need it. I'm sick of fucking drinking the stuff. One, it leaves a horrible fucking taste in your fucking mouth, like, and you know what I mean? It's not great for you. It's a drug, and you become addicted to it when you don't really need it that much. Plus, it means I need milk, it means I need sugar, and I've got to carry those things when I'm out and about and store them and do things like that and buy them. What I'm nearly on the fucking thing of doing is eating one of these for breakfast. This is what I want to do. Now, when I go back into the fucking... When I go back to work, if I go back to work, I can't see why I shouldn't be going back to work, but you never know until you... I don't take anything until I'm fucking there. Yeah, the temperature is going to be fucking too fucking cold for me to be able to fucking... Actually, I might take my... Thinking about it, I might take my pot with me. I don't know, because I have to limit what I've carried, and I'll put a photo up of the shit that I carry from place to place. And obviously then I have to hide that while I'm at work, because I can't take everything to work with me, and then I have to fucking come back and put the tent and everything back up. That's why in this sort of weather it's not great. In the summer it's easy to put... Oh, this summer was good, so it was easy. But yeah, so the gas, I'll get gas bottles for my little gas burner that I've got. But the problem is that when it's fucking below freezing, the gas freezes, so I won't be able to do a stew properly. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is cook one of those soup. It's like a soup. There's a lot of liquid in there, but obviously I like to cook it so that depending on what I'm using, if I've got squash or something in there and potato, they start to go into the sauce, because it's where you mix it up a little bit, where it's been cooked for a while, and it will go into and thicken up the sauce. But there's a lot of fluid in there. It's more soup. It's like a soup thing, you know what I mean? But that's your food and drink all in one lick shot in the morning. So what's the point in fucking around with cups of fucking tea and coffee when I can do breakfast and tea all in one go? And do you know what? I'm nearly fucking... one of them, a bowl like that, it's a big bowl. That's what, 1.3 litres filled to the top, packed with fucking veg and liquid and that. So obviously that, all the shit out of the veg goes as into the liquid. But one of them fills me up all day, all fucking day, while I'm here. It might be different at work because I'm a bit more active, sort of more active. It's hard to... I'm not more active, but I am. For some reason I'm going to give it a go. I want to be eating one of them a day and eat that for breakfast, meaning that I don't have to fuck around with tea and coffee. Why waste your time with them when you might as well eat and drink at the same time? And it just makes perfect sense to me. That's what I should be eating. It tastes beautiful and fills me up wicked, much better than you know, it's a different full up when you have a proper big bowl of soup, stew like that. I don't even have bread with it. That fills me up massively, and comfortably as well. So it just, at the minute, that just makes perfect fucking sense to me. Now, so I want to, you know, I did try being a vegan in the past. I'm not sure I'm going to be a vegan now, but I'm going away from bread. I want to not eat as much bread, and I want to eat food like that. So one of my things that I'm going to do this year is basically eat better, meaning that I've only just started cooking properly since, because I was... And one of it, and this is what I was saying, was to get me off of the fucking... to occupy my time, so I smoke less, drink less. Yeah, so I just want to get back to that quickly. Yeah, with the police and all of that and being attacked. So I can't take that risk. I can't go to the police with anything because they don't act accordingly, as I've proven. where I'm concerned. So I'm legally able to and I will defend myself against anybody with no uncertain terms to ensure that nobody will come back in my direction. Because my life has taught me that people come back, you know. So I have to make sure that that doesn't happen, don't I? And so, yeah, so, you know, I've got to incapacitate them, ensure that, you know, normally that's why normally I'll jump on the head a couple of times. I didn't do that to the geezer in the YMCA, and I didn't do that to that bloke then. But from that moment, I'll pretty much make sure that I give everyone a good fucking stamp to send them on their way. Letter in the post, you know what I mean? Add one of them. Or a few of them. A few punts in the fucking head. You know, you've got to mash the fuck out of them to make sure that they don't do that to you ever, and they won't come back in your direction. Certainly not that night anyway. And he come back with, you know what I mean? So, yeah, so that's that. And yeah, what I was saying was I just wanted to get that out. So yeah, that's at 16. There's been many more. It's not just the one. It's not hard. And yeah, so I want to eat that. So basically what I've done is start cooking, because occupying my time is to do with so that I don't smoke as much. I've finished my tobacco now, so that's that done, and it's nearly instant health benefit that I can feel. I don't feel as chesty. That cackle's still there a little bit because of the wind, but it's a lot more clearer than if I smoke joints. Like I said, I don't smoke all day, every day. I've cut that out anyway, which is what I've done over the last few years, which was another thing that I've learnt to do. So I was in the tent for a year and a half, and then I was in the fucking YMCA for a year and a half with fuck all money. So it's very easy to be responsible and not drink, take drugs, and spend all your money and time getting high when you've got no money. But the problem is that I had no responsibility, because that's all I've done my entire existence, is when I've had money, I would spend it and fucking blow every fucking penny on drinking drugs, going out and partying and doing whatever, or staying in and partying. A party for one, that's not really much of a fucking party, but you know, yeah, so yeah, I've had to learn how to be responsible with money, and give up those things to a degree. I haven't smoked cannabis, like the bud, since I made a video where I had some New York Diesel. I've had a joint here and now. I think my boy's given me a couple of joints, but I prefer hash, which is a lot different buzz in the brain. It gets you, you know, tired. It's more of a it's more of a relaxant than the buds. And better for you, I don't cough when I smoke buds. I cough my guts up. Not as bad as when you smoke that Stardog shit, but you know what I mean, or some of that dodgy haze. But you know, it's all chemically, and the hashes as well. But for some reason, it doesn't have that effect. It's harsher on your throat and it's denser on your throat and in your lung, but you don't cough as much. I don't cough. I very rarely cough that much when I smoke it, whereas when I smoke buds, I have coughing fits all the time. So I've given up cannabis more or less. Yeah, now I'm on the pipe. So now I don't even smoke a joint's worth of hash a day, and it's a lot better for me. So that's good. The drinking, yeah, because I'm just going over what was in the last video. The drinking, I've not had a drink for 4 days now. I'm not going to drink today. And when I do drink, I'm only having like 4 cans. When I'm at work in the summer, I was drinking 3 big bottles of that Birra Moretti or whatever it was, or that Starapian and the fucking Peroni or whatever. I drink Peroni now. I was started with that Birra Moretti because someone gave me a bottle of it, and I thought, fuck me, that's lovely on a hot day. And so I was drinking 3 of them a day. On a Sunday, I would drink 6 in the heat, but I'd start drinking about fucking 8 in the morning and stop drinking about 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and so that I have a good night's sleep, so I'm fresh for Monday morning. I can't go to work anymore fucking feeling hanging, so I don't. When I'm in the autumn, when I left that place, it was only because it was free for a £5, and then I went down to 2 bottles a day, and then obviously at the weekend I might have a little bit more. But I think I'm even going to cut that out because I want to use my time more wisely, and cannabis and things like that are detrimental to you doing anything. How lazy I become when I have a joint. I don't even want to walk to the shop sometimes, and don't. And you know what I mean? You definitely don't want to do anything positive in your life. It's literally medication to subdue and make the population docile, because it's easier to govern a docile society than it is a madman society that alcohol created and creates, which is why they've got rid of it. That's why they've nearly done away with it. That's why the drinking culture is coming to an end. And when you go into the pubs, there's not really any young people in them. I don't see any young people barely in the pubs. It's all old people that are in the pubs now. I'm sure there are nights and things like that where the youngsters go out, but I certainly don't fucking see any where I've been going. Where I've had a few beers, and I've been to the pub a few times, and like I'll have 5 beers, 6 beers. I went to the pub on my birthday, charged my batteries up, sat there, drunk 5 beers, 5 pints of Guinness, but I won't get a carry out. Years ago I'd get a carry out. Years ago I couldn't even drink 4. I'd drink 8 or 12 in a night every day. Or I'd drink wine, so I'd drink a bottle of red wine, but I'd drink 2 bottles of red wine because one weren't enough, or I'd get through nearly 2 bottles and fall asleep. But what I've looked at over the last because I've not been drinking that much since I've been here, and analysing it, because you don't analyse yourself or what goes on in your body properly because you're too busy occupying your time with bullshit and not looking at how things affect your body. I actually sleep much better without alcohol in my. One, because it wakes me up and I have to go for a piss in the middle of the night. Now, I don't normally, like tonight I'm drinking, I'm going to eat that stew quite late, which is why I like to get things out. I'm going to do that in the morning and eat the stew in the morning, so I don't have that big fluid, so I don't get up in the night to go for pisses. And I don't drink a lot through the day. I like to if you drink, get all your fluid into your body early in the morning. There's not a lot of real need to have much drinks in the evening. And they talk about dehydration and shit like that all the time, but what people are doing are flooding their bodies. It's dangerous to overwater your body. And because you sit there in a house, and a lot of it comes down to boredom, so they're bored, so they just flick the kettle on and make tea, and they sit there constantly drinking tea. So when you have to have a fire and go to a lot of effort to fucking make a cup of tea, you drink less, and you find that you sweat less, and you need to piss less, because you shouldn't, getting up once or twice in the night to go for pisses is not good for you. You know what I mean? It's not good. So it disrupts your fucking sleep. So yeah, I sleep better when I don't drink. So that might be something I might just, because I need to start to, what I want to do is use my time a lot more wisely. And I'm still learning. So yeah, so my drinking is under control. I don't get drunk that very often. If I drink more than I should, I go over the 4 limit. So I'll give you an example. I walked to the shop up the shop, and they didn't have fucking a 4-pack of Guinness. They only had a fucking 10-pack of Guinness. So I bought the 10-pack of Guinness, and then I drank fucking 7 of them. And the next day I wake up and I'm feeling fucking rough as fuck. So the last thing I want to do is exercise. The last thing I want to do is a lot of things. I'm feeling fucked and I do stupid things. I was trying to fix the fucking leak on the roof, and I've got my calisthenics thing, and I'm doing something like ridiculously dangerous to try to fix the roof or get up onto the roof, and I'm like, what are you doing? Because you're not even thinking straight. Same, I've had a couple of evenings when I'm at work. So I went down to 2 bottles, because it's 2 for $4.50 in the fucking in most shops, 2 Peronis for $4.50. So I'd only buy 2. But if ever I think one night I bought fucking 4, and I drank 4. And the next day I was like, fuck yeah, now I can't be bothered to go to work, I can't be bothered to do anything. And it really affects what I'm doing, because I like to be fresh for work now, because I spent my entire existence rough as fuck at work. Yeah, so that has also been, so my drinking's under control. Yeah, I've tested myself with like cocaine and things like that. I was offered a gram of cocaine when I was going to the festival for free, and I fucking turned it down. Yeah, I've got cocaine, and I've put it on the side and left it on my sideboard so I can see it for like 3 weeks and not touched it. So I know I've got that restraint about myself. Now I'm not governed, and that could never have happened. And I was a serious cocaine addict, meaning that, you know, I would do, you know, a few £100 worth every time I did it. You know, some nights it could, you know, be serious though. I've done over £1,000 in 1 week on cocaine before. So I was at top end cocaine addict. A cocaine addict doesn't do it every day. Cocaine addiction doesn't. It's not many do it every day like that. But it can be once every other day, because you're doing it every other day because you need a day to recover as well. When you do a lot of it, people who do little bits, like fucking they sell it in like £20 fucking bags now. You know what I mean? Like crack, like a little 1 line. It's not, you know, that's for tramps. Tramps dabble in that shit like that. I didn't dabble in it like that. Yeah. So I've cured myself over the last 8 years. Cured myself of my drug addiction, alcohol addiction, porn addiction. But the porn was connected to the drugs, but like I said, I've desensitized. Desensitized, is that the word? I'm not sure it is. Decontaminated my mind with watching stuff that made me feel sick the day after for some reason. Why I continued to watch it, I don't know, because it become a perversion. You become perverted from the constant showing of arse fucking. And years ago it weren't as simple as you could choose what you were watching. It just came on a fucking DVD or a video and things like that. And I'm going to go into pornography at a different date, because I do want to get into that and how it has completely warped the world's population, turned them into fucking complete complete fucking perverts on a million different fronts. And the porn site, just quickly, that I used was XNXX, which is a massive porn site. It's not an obscure porn site. I never went into any obscure porn sites. It was XNXX or Pornhub, and that happened loads of times, where you get whipped off, where you press. It may, like I said, I'm not even sure what you press. It could even be a video that's up, and you press that video and it whips you. It's linked to something else, and that's happened loads of times. So it's not hard to find illegitimate material, or it must be illegitimate. It looked illegitimate anyway from the quick glimpses of what you could see, and that's why you have to turn it off. But yeah, I was never on any obscure porn sites or anything like that. I think that's one of the biggest porn sites there is on earth. I think it seems to be what people use in the UK anyway. So yeah, that's yeah. And what I was trying to say, what I'm saying is yes, that's what I've learned, how to control over myself. And that is regarding drink, the stuff that governed my life from a very, very young age. I've written about, I smoked my first joints when I was before I was 10. I got drunk the first time before I'd started high school, so I think I was just 11. Amphetamines by 12. Ecstasy, amphetamines on a regular basis from 15. I was already an alcoholic by 15 years of age, more or less, where you're drinking every single week, sometimes 2 or 3 times a week. So all these things govern my fucking life, governed my existence. So yeah, I can have money and use my money wisely now, meaning that I can have money in the bank and not spend it, because I just see it as a waste of fucking money. And I feel rough because I've got out of that, and because I train all the time. So, like I said, even a few extra beers, I now feel it in my body. Like, wow, there's no way I want to I don't want to drink that, because I feel rough today, where I normally feel good, fit, strong and healthy every day, and alert. So, I've stopped. Like I said, I can be around it, I can see it, I can be offered it and turn it down, which couldn't happen. It would have never happened before. I could never go to bed with a crumb left. That was not done. And when that went, I was normally always trying to get more, meaning that I couldn't stop until, even the point where you fucking, what I mean, you're doing like fucking 300 pounds a night on it. Yeah, I've managed to get myself out of all of that. That's been, and look at it. When I started back to work, the goddess sort of made me more or less take it on a regular basis for a few months, up to the point of near addiction again, so that I could understand how long it stayed in the body, how it starts to affect the brain and starts to the brain then starts to fucking attack you and try to get you to do it because the brain likes it. That's how drugs work. Because of the release of the chemicals, endorphins, feel-good factors, and serotonin and things like that into the body. And obviously there's an element of pleasure if you're fucking playing, you know, it's a sex drug really, cocaine is, and that's what's perverted the majority of the large amounts of the population is that drug. That affects all walks of society, young and old. It's rife everywhere. A lot of old people take a lot of cocaine who weren't ravers. It just came around in the pubs, and it all came at. So, but I'm going to go into. I'll probably make another video on that because it's something I want to clear up before I stop making them. So yeah, so that over 8 years I've had to learn how to do all of those things. Have money, because I was never responsible with money. Now that might mean that, well, maybe I won't be famous. Maybe I'm just here to, you know, infiltrate and destroy the human race. Who knows? Who cares? Because I don't care about that. That's something that I would, again, not enjoy, but see as a very good thing to do. Because the human race is a cancer to the earth, and which is creation. And they don't want to stop. They won't stop. You tell a mental patient that you need to get rid of the internet, which is the cause of more abuse and revoltingness than you could possibly imagine, and the mental patients will fight you and hate you for that and try to kill you for that. You would have wackos that try and kill you if you turn off their thing that occupies their life, even their pornography. That's how wacko people are. So yeah, so that's why you have to be in, you know, I'm going to get a little bit biblical. Now, I'm a follower of the 7 deadly sins and 7 virtues that I've put on. So wrath, which is anger, is a deadly sin. Because if you lose your cool at the wrong time because someone's slighted you, you're going to jeopardize your entire mission of what it is you need to do. So wrath is a deadly sin. Anger is a deadly sin. And pride. They're both connected because you become angry over things that hurt your pride. So, you know, ultimately, the reason I'm going to apologise to that bloke if I go back there, which is still on the case, I've just got to double check tomorrow, I think, to see whether ring the foreman again to say, look, is we still all good for next week? Is because it had finished and then I kicked it off again. You can have arguments. I have arguments, you know, little words with people at work, no different from you would in a house, because you spend a lot of time together and you're all stressed out at work. So, you know, you can have a couple of words here and then it's finished. You shouldn't bring it up again. It's forgotten about it. I've had loads of rows with people and it's just forgotten about like nothing. So it's because I reignited it, so it was my problem. And I did something which was quite, well, I didn't spit at him. I wouldn't spit at him. I certainly don't spit at people sober. And haven't done for like years, but you know, in my teenage years and early 20s, I was a fucking hooligan of epic proportions. And was a complete cunt. So, I didn't give a fuck about anyone or anything. So, yeah, that's what I've learned, restraint. I was in the YMCA for a while, and I could have probably, again, there was women in there that I could have probably had sex with, younger than me, 20, 18, 20, but to me, they look like babies. And even 22. No, I'm nearly on the. I probably wouldn't go with a woman under 30. That's probably where I'm at right now. I just see child, and what can you talk about? I've got nothing in common with anyone under 30 because of the changing of the generation. I'm not saying it's wrong up to after a certain age, but you know, I'm just, you know, I'm 43 now. I think 30's got to be a cut-off point. Do you know what I mean? With who you'd have sex with, and it cause problems, you know, in an environment like that. So you know, sexual restraint is something that you need to learn. Lust is a deadly sin, because if you allow your lust to govern your actions, again, you will jeopardize your mission and you will end up fucking dead. And it will be a deadly sin, because the mission will fail and the creator won't have that. So lust is you know, chastity is a virtue, not meaning refusal. Well, again, I don't know. Am I just old now and I've done all that? Is it all that great? Was I made into a pervert, so that all I ever thought about was sex, like most people do? Because all you see is images of sex everywhere, all the time, and it's restricted from you. And you're masturbating like a deranged fucking wacko. All masturbation is deranged. End of. Complete freak, sexual deviant, and fucking deranged. By the way, this is a fictional TV series for Netflix that I'm hoping to get up, called The Exampla, the son of the creator. Everything in this video is completely fictional, but yeah, all masturbation is completely fucking deranged. Completely deranged. And they got the population. They taught you about masturbation at school. So they were teaching masturbation as normal when I was at school, when masturbation is completely fucking deranged, because half the species is female, half is male. It shouldn't really be that big of a thing, sex. It's because they ban you from sex. Society does that. The parents do that because of society, and then they torment you with it. So by the time you're 16, you're 17, you know, 16 I was, and I was late compared to a lot of people, because I couldn't get engaged in that. I didn't want to say those words. When at my age, you had to be going out with them and more or less tell them you loved them to get like that. Unless you rode the school bike. But after school, you know, because you haven't got the bullying that goes on, and people, you know, everyone becomes a little bit looser. Well, certainly the females, well, they become looser, so that it's easier for you to have sex with them. The males would have done it anyway. But yeah, so that was then. Now they're just fucking, you know, like, you know, they'll be having dildos at very young ages, watching hardcore pornography, which was quite hard. It was a male thing mainly, but I did watch them with girls and shit like that. You'd go around someone's house and try and find their dad's pornos and that, and put them on, and you're watching them with girls and shit like that. But you know, it wasn't to the levels, and it certainly wasn't as weird and fucked up as it is today, although it was that fucked up back then as well, maybe even weirder. So yeah, so it's all deranged. It's completely deranged, and that's what the education system started to teach everyone in the changing of the generations. At the same time, pornography was becoming more and more available, where they profit from pornography. Big business in pornography, and there's big business in prostitution. And society has advertised both of those things, and they get you masturbating, and again that puts in people with lack of contact with females. See, I was very lucky, although I didn't get any contact, like physical contact from my mum. I was lucky as a child that I was quite popular, and popular with girls. I was always popular with girls, even though I couldn't popular enough so that I always got off with girls at fucking parties, and when you got drunk and that, I always got some rubs on the go, you know what I mean? Or went to the nightclubs, you got rubs, I always got rubs, you know what I mean? So you're getting rubs, so you're fucking, some people don't get that. They're masturbating all the time, trapped in a house watching shit, and that's when they start becoming deviant, because they're not even more deviant than I was, which is a complete fucking wacko deviant, the same. Yeah, so all masturbation is completely warped and fucked up and deviant, and you're a complete wacko for doing it. And it's wacko, completely fucking wacko, warped in the head, that they taught at school as normal, and in society as normal. Because of that, it came with, and even down to like the daily sport and things like that. It's like it's a complete porno mag, a daily porno mag that was allowed to be sold in all the shops, bar they just slightly cover the bumhole and vagina. But it's a porno mag all the same. So that was sold daily, and in most of the national papers you had page 3s, meaning that women then think that they're just, every woman now wants to be a fucking model. A lot of men want to be models as well, and they have the personality of a fucking model, meaning a plank of fucking wood. And Facebook has done that because it's wacko. But they're the fucking guardians and creators of the asylum, along with fucking gay YouTube. But so that's what I've learned, and what I'm saying is, this is what I'm saying. Now, let's just say this: martial arts is bullshit. It's all bullshit, absolute bullshit. But some do have a few skills. But they've spent their entire lives learning that, and putting on circus acts. It's like a show. It's like a circus show. So they practice that for their whole lives and do those shows every single week. Like I said, it will look good, but they've got a few skills. But they've done that their whole life. They've not been going around the pubs drinking, so you don't understand the world. So, you know what I mean? If you spend your entire existence away from the world, how would you understand the world to infiltrate it and deal with a world like the world that we live in? That is a virtual reality, but it's a virtual reality, meaning it's very similar to the reality. So, yeah, I lived my whole childhood, well, the majority of my life, in fear. Certainly the whole of my childhood was spent in fear of sorts from adults. I was in houses where males were coming in, booting doors off, fucking battering women. On a few occasions I had to escape. We're getting attacked by older men with fucking pickaxe handles. You're getting attacked everywhere. Years ago, if you stuck your finger up at a fucking car, the cars would stop and turn round and chase your ass, and adults would put beatings onto kids like nothing. I had all the older fucking kids, so I was the youngest, so I'm the smallest and the youngest, so they're all plotting all the time to do things like throw you in the bin, trip you up, fucking beat you up, do things to you. if you get in a chase, you'll be tripped up, thrown in the bushes, so you know what I mean, and things like that. So I've spent my entire existence analysing people's faces, looking at them, checking their eyes out, looking for fucking reactions in the eyes, whether they're looking at each other, whether they're plotting, and things like that. Now, these are senses that you can't be told about. You have to learn those senses so that your eyes... So, because they were always plotting. And I learnt to be able to read the plot so that I would see the look in the eyes, their eyes going like this, so they're looking at each other and giving each other the nod and a little whisper here and there, and you know, behind the scenes. Now, my best mate, arch enemy, he didn't pick up on that much, whereas I picked up on it because I was always hurt, and I made sure that I was getting away from that. So I spent my entire childhood on edge. I grew up on the streets, meaning that I walked around the streets my whole life as a young kid, like out late at night. I'd say I was staying around other people's houses because I weren't allowed out that late. But when I stayed around other people's houses, we'd go out. I was going to raves at fucking 11, 12, nightclubs, you know. I'm out all the time. We were out all the time. We'd keep in tents. I'd say I was staying around someone's house. So you're on edge your whole life. From pain, because the older kids would hurt you as well. So, you know what I mean? They got my best mate arch enemy and they handcuffed him to the fucking... They did it to a couple of people, but he got caught. I didn't get caught because I spotted the plot and fucking chipped off, and was later, you ain't getting me. And if any of them got hold of me, this is what I was saying. So you got a group trying to get hold of you, and you have to try to get out of that. And you're getting kicked, trying to get tripped up, punched up, grabbed by a group of bigger, older kids. So I would just go mental and stuff, and they'd let go of me, or I'd get away. I got away a lot. You get fucked over every now and then if you're not careful, but it's those senses. So I walk into it. I normally, when I start drinking, I'm analysing the whole pub, so I'm on edge the whole time. But I'm drinking here because you can't advertise it, because they'd say, "Well, you parafful, you little fucking gay. What are you going on parafful, you fucking little pussy?" So you have to do it, you know, you do it slyly. So I'll be like fucking in a pub. I'm here drinking, talking to that person. Yeah, I'm analysing everyone in the pub at exactly the same time. I'm looking in the eyes. I'm watching, listening. I can hear what they're talking about over there while I'm talking to them. Because I spent my entire fucking childhood in danger. You can't fucking teach that shit. You can't be told that. You can't learn that. So if you spent your whole life just learning fighting, you won't have those skills either. Because you were in a gym, away from all of that. Because to get to those levels, it takes dedication, which means you sacrifice a lot of your fucking childhood and going out and all of those things to get to those levels. So you won't learn those skills. And that's a fact. So they're valuable skills that you need to have if you're going in anywhere, because you need to infiltrate, and you also need to know if people are plotting and be able to pick up on senses. You've got senses, so that I'd be in pubs and I'd just sense that something was going down and just leave, because I've always avoided trouble. And I'm not a violent person in general, which I know it sounds like it because I'm always but I've had a lot of rows, but I was out a lot. I was out every weekend. I was out 3, 4 times a week. I'd be out all day and all night Friday night, all day and all night Saturday night, and all day Sunday. And then I might be out on a Wednesday in the week as well. So I was out a lot. And you're out in dangerous places. I was never someone that's went in my head, I want to be the hardest man around, I want a reputation, I want this, like a lot of people I knew did. And they go out looking for trouble. Whereas I didn't go out looking for trouble, I just got in it. Because of a lot of other people. You know, I didn't, you know, a 28-year-old walking into a 16-year-old party. It's like, what are you doing in here, you fucking nonce? And it was my party. I can't remember whose birthday it was. It might have been the geezer, my best mate who lived out the back. Something like that. But it was someone's birthday, and it was like the leave. So we did a joint party for this fucking party up in Stockholm. But we were all drinking in pubs. My generation, we were in pubs from the age of 15. We were in pubs all the time from the age of fucking 15. Larman's mum and that had a fucking pub, the Robin Hood. So we were allowed to all drink in there from the age of fucking 15. Again, people were having like 16, 15, 16-year birthdays at the pub. So you're all in the pub drinking. There was a few places. To Speed the Plough. I think someone I knew had a fucking 15th or 16th birthday in there, and we were all drinking down there. So I was drinking in pubs for fucking years and years. Speed the Plough was alright. It's another place that was used to hold fucking like a rave night, and get all the villagers and kids in the village on the drugs as well. Had a late license somehow. It was allowed to fucking stay open till fucking whenever, with everyone just sitting out on the balcony smoking fucking joints. That was another establishment that's now in the hands of fucking Muslims. Every pub that was used, every outlet that was, you know, vast amounts of pubs all in this area after the indigenous population were fucked over and turned into drug addicts, and the addictions, and everyone, you know, they've come in and snapped everything up, and they've been given everything because they banning alcohol, banning the drinking, banning the smoking of the indigenous population, to then get them so that they can take over this fucking land, because they're in control and have always been in control, because this land was invaded by Turkey. So and it was Islam that overtook the world, not Christianity. Christianity is the sacrificial lamb. Because they've been dumbed down. And love everybody, forgive those that trespass against you. While the others are trained on rape, murder and overtaking the world. While the others just sit round singing songs. Because they're wacko little babies that just want to sing songs. You know, so Christianity is the sacrificial lamb, and the relaxing of Christian countries and then being perverted by the media, the Jew magic and Islamic magic. Well, it's Jew magic, because the Jews are the chosen ones. The Muslim is the pawn, no different from the Christian, but still, whatever. But they relaxed all the Christian in the Christian countries to take it from the strict regimes that were exactly the same as Islam, with the veil, the veils, the fucking burqas and all of that, or whatever, all that shit. You know what I mean? So yeah, and just a quick one, you know, like you know, like I said, I'm an expert of disguise. Terror me beetle, watch out, beetle's about. Watch out, beetle's about. You know, my ninja outfit would be a burqa, and I'd be pushing a buggy. You know, straight over the back of the head. Watch out, beetle's about. I'll be jumping out of everywhere like terror me beetle. The beetle fingers will be fucking coming out of everywhere. I've got a million different fucking disguises. We live in a world now where you have men dressing as women. So I just bowl down the road dressed as a tranny. You know what I mean? Whack! You won't know where I am. Or when I'm gonna strike. Because you won't see me fucking coming. And just a quick one on the prize cunts. I've got no need to go into a prize cunt competition, but I know a lot of prize cunts knew, they've kept silent. So I will put your heads on fucking sticks. And blow a few fucking gyms up if I have to. But I'm not going to walk in there and fight, because like I said, when you trade and you take things too lightly and things like, you know, you can come a cropper. So you need to try to avoid that sort of confrontation as much as possible. So yeah, heads on sticks would work very well, you know, in the other world. You know, what can you do? That's the way you would get rid of the evil empire. That's a sensible way of doing it. You know, you've got to be sensible about these things. Can't piss around with bollocks and fucking bullshit. Diligence is a virtue. Patience is a virtue. You know, you've got to use those things. Cunning. You know, don't broadcast what you're doing, because that's thick. But that would be part of the training program, in case it goes off in this world. And if it went off in this world, you know, I was pushed into a place where, you know, I've no longer got any food for myself, and the authorities are making it so that I'm unable to go to work, clothe and feed myself. I would have to start to act. Now, once that takes place, it would have to be an all-out rampage. An all-out rampage. Until I get to wherever. Whether I get killed doing that, whatever. It'll be up to, you know, I've got to learn those skills as well. Because, again, if all you've done is train and you've not been beaten and things, you know, there's a difference to it. You won't have, you know, you could be the best in the world at waving sticks around or in a fucking gym, but have you got the killer instinct that you get from pain, suffering as a child from big kids and adults, and that anger and hate where you've been put into solitary confinement? It's not like nowadays. Nowadays they just go into their room, cry a bit and put a fucking TV and fucking computer on. Years ago you didn't have that. You were on bang up in solitary confinement, in a cell as a child, in pain, where you've been hurt by adults, going into a fucking madman. Killer instinct. You can't train killer instinct. You can't train it. It has to be put into you. The rage. The rage. It's the rage. You get angry people and they'll be angry and they get anger, but it's a different anger. They won't have the minerals when it comes down to the fucking boiling point. The killer instinct, and going raggo, going mental. How you go mental. That's how you would get out of certain problems. And you would have to go on a massive fucking killing spree quick. The bucket list. The list would be done. I'm not angry at them. I don't spend my days like I used to, going into a whole day of a week. It's not my list. But if I've got to send examples out to make sure that, you know, ultimately that I can survive, meaning that I'm able to fucking get a bit of munch, some clothes and that, and a few drinks, hash to chill me out. You know. It's preparation for the other world. This world's just a simulation. It's a virtual reality. A training program. And I feel nothing about deleting those motherfuckers. And you might as well use people, you know, so you know, ultimately, well, I know you wronged me, you cunt. You can't get out of it. You can't get out of it. How can I do all of those videos and know everyone who hates the police, who spent their whole life fucking preaching bullshit about fucking Freemasons and shit, and no one comments on that or shares that? No other people make friend requests. I saw a lot of people looking in the people you know may know bit, and that's why they cottoned onto it, and that's why they stopped me being able to look at that properly. So I know. So it would make me feel better if I'm making examples out of guilty people instead of just innocent people. Now, innocent, it doesn't bother me whether you're innocent or guilty, because everyone is guilty. But on a personal level, you know, it makes it easier. And it's only fair, because you thought you could work and target me. What goes around comes around. You're scum. So at the minute, we've got police officers, solicitors, social workers. And just quickly on the social worker, what I was saying was they never had no ammo on me. Now, I made complaints against them for their handling of the whole thing. So what they tried to do was target me to try to get ammo on me when I'd not done a single thing wrong. My boy had been at my house for over a year, had 100% school record. 100% school records, meaning he didn't miss one single fucking day. I did everything by the book because I know how it all works. I've been playing the book for a long time. And I just won 20 grand from I sued a company and got 20 grand for unfair dismissal and something else, but they settled out of court in the end. I had to go to court for one day to get that, so that I was classed as an employee, not a subcontractor, because there's laws. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I just got 20 grand, and me and my boy were going shopping, and I thought you just had to fucking one day off in over a year. He had 100% school record. It may have even been nearly 2 years this happened. I can't fucking remember how long, but it was well over a year anyway. And they fucking... I didn't know that you had to I thought you just sent a letter with them the day after, like you did when I was at school. But apparently now you've got to ring the fucking school that second to let them know why your child ain't there. Because they think they own the fucking little cunt. And I had the head mistress and deputy head turn up at my house. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here? They said social services have sent us round. I said, I'm not under investigation. There's nothing on that document that you have, which is the child protection order regarding me. So why are you here now when he's had one day off? Do you normally go knocking around people's houses? Because they were all, and I'd made complaints against the school as well, because he was only under supervised contact because his mum had been found had been found to be lying to him and getting him to lie on her behalf. So it had to be supervised because she's a manipulative little cunt of a whore. And it was done at the school, and again, because I'm male and his mum can be very charming, and it was a woman, things had gone on at school, and I was like, how's this happened? when it's meant to be supervised contact. That's what it says on that thing, that document, and that's what you were meant to be doing. So how has that taken place? So I'd made complaints against both, and then they were both working, because what they do is go to job protection, not child protection, which is exactly what they did, and I've proved with the emails and everything on my page, and text messages and phone calls, that they were trying to lie, and they were in cahoots with the police, claiming that I'd had a mental breakdown. Yet all those videos that I made were after the period he'd been arrested, and not one of them questioned, even admitting that I'd spoken to the deputy. Can't fucking think right now off the fucking at the police station. And it was only after I'd made the video at Snips where he admitted arresting me, and I'd made those allegations to him, did they drop all the bail charges on my son and stop all involvement. My son came to me, he was on a banning order from Bedfordshire, and it had my phone number confiscated from him, even though in interview he told them that I'd given him the money, which they were legally then obliged to contact me, and I am his legal guardian, so I was legally obliged to be contacted about that arrest, which they didn't do. They broke the law on that. But anyway, the social services go into job protection, not child protection. They don't give a fuck about those kids. All they care about is their fucking little job. Anyway, social workers. I hate social workers. And I had dealings with fucking over 10. Because his mum kept moving around, and when you move around you have to go through the whole ordeal of having another social worker, and they don't pass any information on and don't take anything that you say as anything. So I know that how scumbag they all are. So yeah, so basically I've got to make examples because they're dangerous to the children of the earth in the other world. So you've got to target social workers, you've got to target teachers, you've got to target the police, you've got to target the solicitors, you've got to target doctors, you've got to target all of the things. You've got to make it them the most dangerous jobs on earth, to stop people from working for the authorities of the evil empire. That's my job to take down in the next world, in the other world. This is just the training program for that world. The other world is heaven. My interpretation of heaven is pretty much the same as earth, on earth as it is in heaven. I don't buy them, it's my religion. It's my religion. I'm a Gnostic Christian, which is pagan, Celtic. Right now I'm in I think it's purgatory, a stage of purgatory, limbo, in preparation for heaven. But I'm not expecting the cloudy wonderworld of God's love, because that's just gay. Sitting around singing songs with the beggars, spent their whole life begging and looking at everyone else as sinners. That's not my version of that interpretation of that book. My interpretation of the book is that there's a war in heaven, that this world has been created as preparation to deal with that war. As above, so below, on earth as it is in heaven. Thy will be done. So, that's my religion. I'm a Gnostic Christian, pagan Celt. It's more Catholic than Protestant, because I'm a follower of the deadly sins and the 7 sins and 7 virtues, and I'm in a state of purgatory. I think that's the name of preparation for heaven. And it's my job to take down the evil empire that has destroyed creation. Satan. You know, I'm the Christ. But there is a Christ mass. Or is it the Christ massacre? But there is a clause, a Satan clause. Because Santa is an anagram of Satan. Satan clause. There's the Satan clause. I'm evergreen. I'm an evergreen tree. So that's my job. Can't deny my religion. How can you deny my religion? It's a recognised religion. And was the original belief system of this earth, of this land. But anyway, my job would be to make those jobs the most dangerous jobs on earth. Same way, you know, I don't hold anything against immigrants. I like immigrants, and it was talking to immigrants that made me realise how dumbed down the population of this country was, and how disgusting our values are, and have been made to be into revolting, disgusting human beings that don't give a fuck about anyone but themselves. I have a lot better conversations with immigrants. I like a lot of immigrants. Do I like them? You can have better conversations with them. Some don't have our sense of humour, but is our sense of humour very good? It's not good to laugh at everything all the time. But it's about balance, so you can have both. But yeah, you know, ultimately, I like immigrants. On a personal level, I talk to more immigrants. I'm better off. I like being around immigrants. I have better conversations with immigrants now than I have with a lot of English people. That said, my job would be, I've been trained and shown Great Britain, which is the place that's been destroyed more than anywhere because of the size of the land. So it's the first place that was destroyed in the other world. I would make Great Britain the most dangerous place on earth to be an immigrant, so that it was the most dangerous place on earth for any immigrant to come. I'm a terrorist. I would be a complete fucking terrorist, meaning that I would stop that from happening, which would mean I would have to target the immigrants for coming over here, thinking they can build their places of worship and dictate to you what you should be doing in your land and police you. And by the way, social services, most of the fucking people I dealt with were immigrants. I've got immigrants to this land telling me what I should and shouldn't be doing with my fucking kid, even though I'd not done anything wrong. I'd done everything right. But because of his mum, I had them coming into my home and trying to dictate to me. And because I made complaints against them, they then went all out to target me and put my son in jeopardy. And then with the police at a later date, just broke every rule and were working solely for the police. You've got to make examples to make those jobs the most dangerous jobs on earth, to deter everyone from wanting to do those jobs. It's the only way you can take down the evil empire. So you need to make examples. Heads on sticks are good examples. Strategically placed heads on sticks. I'm not Dracula. Or vampire. I'm more Vlad the fucking Impaler. I will put your fucking heads on sticks, blood clots. And fucking you everywhere with messages. You know. In disguise. I would be in disguise. Bosh. Kill a load of teachers when they go to work. Kill a load of doctors when they go to work. To make all the others not do that. So obviously you've got to do mental health teams. So if there's, you know, who are these people that keep fucking coming in my direction, working for the police on the police's say-so? When the police come, They don't do shit. All the police officers, every person, you know, I walk into a police station, you've got little cunts on the desk that work for the police when they're meant to just take your reports, but the second you mention Freemason, they're on your case and don't follow the laws. Heads on sticks. Heads on sticks. That would be how you take down the evil empire in the next world. This is a training program. All the people that thought they could keep quiet, spread lies. So I know that that would take place in the next world. So that I would make sure that I use those people as well. But again, you have to take down the pyramid so it's heads on sticks time, to make sure that everybody knows that you can't double cross. That you can't double cross. That you can't act like a fucking revolting, disgusting piece of shit for money and to save your ass from being exposed in some way or another. Because money would only work up to a certain level. Heads on sticks. Just massacres. You're walking down the road. You're getting in your car. That old man ain't an old man. It's El Capitan. That woman pushing the buggy ain't the woman pushing the buggy. It's Jeremy Beadle. Watch out. Beadle's about. Watch out. Beadle's about. Watch out. Beadle's about. I need to eat my stew. That'll do. But that's what you would have to do, yeah. Make this country the most dangerous place on earth for an immigrant to come, and then they'd stop coming. So it's only fair to target those that thought they could target me. For doing nothing. For being the son of the Creator. You'd have to make sure that the rest of the population were in complete fear of you. For them not to bother trying to come in your direction. What better way to do it than use all the cunts that thought they could double cross you and work for the authorities for money and to protect themselves. You know, how could that happen where I'm caning up the old bill, Freemasons and all that? I went to a rave with thousands and thousands of people that were all against the police and Freemasons. Yet I got no friend requests, no video shares, no comments from any of those thousands of people. I know I'm a cunt and I wind people up, but still, it's a piss take. So you can't tell me that didn't happen, that nothing's gone weird and didn't happen. Not one of my mates, not one person that I knew came on, who I hadn't first originally made friend requests to everyone else. They were telling everyone how worried about me they were. Yet when I turn up, not missing. Not how they fucking explained it. Not one tried to get in contact with me to say, look, Del, you know, we got that wrong, mate. Sorry about that. Heads on sticks. Heads on sticks. You know what I mean? The only way you could possibly do it is to make sure, because of the people would have to fear you for you to be able to put anything into place. Before you can put anything into place, it has to be fear to govern the rest of the mental patients. It's my religion. You have a foreign religion to this land that preaches that their God, the only thing that appeases their God, is blood. Same. thing that appeases my God is blood. Their religion, the foreign religion that's protected by law, says that they're to kill non-believers. Christians, meaning me. Pagan, meaning me. And Jews. It's the Judeo-Christian religion. Me again. My people, who are the indigenous population of this land. You know, I've offered friendship to immigrants and things like that, so at a later date, but I've got to stop people coming here to start with, so I'd have to target the immigrants. To do that. I'm not the game. I'm not the creator. I'm the avatar. I'm a man. Don't hate the player. Hate the game. But if you understood the game, you'd understand that it's all for the right reasons. It's for the greater good. And that film, Hot Fuzz, is exactly how it is. All businesses, all the businesses, and the vast amounts of the community are part of that network that has allowed that invasion to come here out of greed and gluttony, the Freemasons. So you have to target them and their associates to take down the system. So it's only fair that it's the people that have wronged me, isn't it? That way I'm 100% certain that they're guilty of crimes, you know what I mean? The others are guilty of them, but they didn't target me personally. And I don't need to kill them all, I just need to kill a few, so I might as well kill the guilty ones. Put their fucking heads on sticks. In the other world. Heaven. Can't have churches everywhere and say that there's the religion, you know, and now tell me that my interpretation, you know, because your interpretation of that book is wrong. Because it doesn't tell you that. It tells you there's a war to be fought. Good against evil. It doesn't tell you that, you know what I mean? Only in some of the stories, but again, I don't take all the stories as fact. I'm a Gnostic Christian, meaning that I take information out of every religion on earth. That'll do for now. I've got stew to eat, you know what I'm saying? Later.